Hi guys, so unfortunately this video is going to be a little bit louder on background noise than usual. We've lost our air conditioner downstairs, so we're having to run a temporary air conditioner. That's dumping its heat into the stairwell underneath my office, so I've got to have all the windows open in here because it's muggy as hell. So something different for you today. We've got a Motorola GP340 radio that we're going to refurbish. Those of you that know us know that we have a large number of these radios. We use a lot of them for hire and events. You can buy the kits for these. It looks fairly straightforward, but no one actually covers what you need to do. So we're going to make this look like a brand new radio by the end of this. We'll just have a quick look at what you need to do this, or what we generally have to do this. I've noticed I am missing something, but that's not a problem at the moment. And then we'll get on and do it. So most of the kits come with what you've got here. So we have our stickers, we have our side cover stickers for the multi-connector, which we're going to need to take off of this, a case, a volume and channel knob, and a side cover and a clip for the speaker. In addition, you are definitely going to need one of these. This is the removal tool. These are cheap and easy to buy. To be completely honest, it's not worth even trying this job without one of these. You can do it with a couple of screwdrivers, but this makes it such a quick job in comparison. Knife blade I've already covered, which we'll need for cleaning up the side. Pair of pliers, because the volume controls on these, especially when they get a bit old like this one has, will just self-destruct. You won't be able to use the removal tool. A pokey stick and some tweezers. So let's get on with this. I'm going to have to pause you a second and go and get the flathead screwdriver. I need to get this connector off the side, so 1 second. Right, back again. So if you've got the side cover on the radio, you're going to need to remove it as per you will if you've got one of these little microphone adapters on. Right, let's just move some things out of the way so I'm not working off to one side. So what I found the easiest way to do, I need to pause you again because I've just realised there's something else I need for this particular set. So some of these can be particularly bad for corrosion. I don't know if you can see there, we've got a couple of pins that are quite manky, so I've got a fiberglass pen. Let's zoom you down just a little bit. There we go. So the first thing we need to do is get this label off. The easiest way I found of doing this is with a reasonably sharp blade. You just need to get under the corner and start lifting that label. Now what you've got to be careful of is there is a flex PCB under here, which you can't see just yet. Let's just start pulling this off. And the flex PCB is bonded to a substrate, and if you are not careful you can delaminate it. Some of these I have used isopropyl alcohol with to help with separation of everything. That works. Heat works as well. So there you go, you can see our flex PCB under there, and we are certainly actually we're not in a bit of a mess. So I would say this one has been recased before, and the holes in the label tend to not get punched out properly, and it looks like that's all there. So we're just going to use a fiberglass pen to clean up in here. Let's have a quick scrape of that and try and see what's going on. That actually looks like that pad is quite badly damaged, so this one will need a new ribbon. Now we need to get this ribbon out and get it moving. So if you put your blade down between the plastic and the ribbon, you can sometimes, as you see there, get in there and start lifting the pad. The substrate is quite thin. Do not slide the knife along that way, because you'll slip out from underneath the substrate and you'll slice straight through this ribbon. I've not found a good source of these ribbons yet, but just gently work your way along, and then at some point that will lift up quite easily. This one's going to fight a little. So again, you don't want to slide the blade along the ribbon, because if you slip you'll slice through it. There we go. And actually this one's done just what I've warned you about. We've come off of the substrate underneath. So let's see if we can get that substrate moving. There you go, you can see it lifting now. The glue used is not particularly vicious. It will come away fairly easy. And just slide your blade along, obviously making sure that the pointed bit's towards your fingers, so when it invariably suddenly snaps loose, you slice your fingers. But just gently work it and it will come off. Okay. And then hopefully there's enough glue left for that to go back onto the flex. There is. So we'll need to adjust that a little bit once we've got it off. Battery off, which to be fair you should have already have done. Next thing is we need to get these off. Now the removal tool is supposed to slide underneath and lift up, and in this case it's not going to work, because if you watch this you'll watch it actually works. Normally when they're this bad the rubber just crumbles and it launches them into space, but as you can see on this one there's nothing to prise on. Get your long nose pliers, get as close to the top as you can. They are in quite firmly, and just pull it off. And then you want to make sure that you don't forget, if it'll focus, come on focus, you want to make sure that you don't forget to take this bit of metal off that retains the knob, otherwise you will not get the new one on. So just gently work that off. It shouldn't require much force, although this one is rusted to hell. You can probably just get the blade under and pop that off. Right, removal tool. If you look at your tool, there is, I don't know if you can see it there, an edge to it. The tool goes in like that. Push it in and then move it backwards away from the radio. And you saw there, the radio just popped out. I'll put it back in, do it a little bit closer so you can see. So tool in, like that. And then move it away and it lifts the radio out. You need to be a little bit careful now because there is a ribbon in here. If you are doing a no, they've all got the ribbon. I don't know what I'm talking about. Gently work it backwards until the volume control and everything is clear, and flip the radio over. Do not just yank it back. Normally in a 340 you'll only have this ribbon to worry about. Some of them, for some reason, do actually have the ribbon for the non-existent keypad. I'm not quite sure why that is. You don't need that ribbon, but you do need to keep the other ribbon. Zoom you down a bit more again for some delicate bits. So the edge of the speaker here, push down and release the clip. You can reuse these. I'm not going to because I've got new ones in the kit. The speakers should then be loose, and then using a pair of tweezers gently ease the microphone out. What I tend to do is actually get the tweezers into the rubber that isolates the microphone and poke around and prise on the rubber rather than the microphone. This should all now be loose. Just get your speaker loose and then we can guide our ribbon from the side through. Push that through, that's out. Not quite sure why this one actually appears to have a populated board in. Let's just have a look in. I have seen them with the boards in, I've seen them without the boards in. I'm sure there is some reason for Motorola doing it, but most of the ones that I've seen where these boards have been in place, there has not been the ribbon in place. This looks like it's only got the ribbon. No, that has the entire front ending. We need to look that number up, HLN 9725C. That might actually be an option board. We don't use them in any of our radios, so I'm not too worried about it. We won't be putting that one back in. So we're now going to prepare our case. So the first thing I need to do on this one is we just need to gently separate this again. And there are holes, I don't know if you can see them there and there, and they have to line up with this. So we'll just get this all lined up and sat where it should be again, like that. And now we feed that edge connector, flex circuit, whatever you want to call it, through. You do need to be a little careful with this because it is possible to tear them. And then just pop your speaker back in place. Speaker should just drop down like that, and get the microphone back in again. Just press it. Then we've got a bit of metal. You can see you've got a tang here and a little barb here. It goes in that way, so this little tang should be pointing upwards. Just under the speaker there is a little recess that goes on there, and then you can literally just jiggle this back into position. So 99% of the time I can get through a video in one hit, but it appears that everyone is out to annoy me today and interrupt. So back to this, just fold it over. There are two little guide pins that has to sit on. You can put some new double-sided tape on there if you wish. These are actually fairly good at holding things together. Make sure, come here, focus. Make sure that you get all of the little bits of plastic out. The notch goes downwards, and when you're trying to hold everything together it's a little bit more difficult. And you should be able to just lie this in position, push it down, and everything will be retained. So this radio is going to have a bit of an issue with this here. It's going to need a new ribbon long term. That is the base more or less prepped. We'll come on to this. So the radio, you want to be fairly careful handling these. I should really have a zap strap on. What I do, not entirely necessary, one tiny drop of oil on each one with the channel selector. Sometimes the channel selectors are split up here, sometimes they're complete brass units like this, and again just a tiny drop of oil on there, and we'll just, not necessarily needed, but I know these particular radios have not had a particularly great life. Grab our ribbon, and we just guide it in to the connector here, goes all the way back, and gently push the latch down, and then controls first, then controls first, push it in. Occasionally it will pop this seal out, that's not a problem, we'll deal with that in a minute. Zoom you out a bit, and just slide it in at the top and then press down firmly on the bottom. There you go, that's that bit done. Just gently seat that seal. The genuine Motorola cases, those seals do not move. The genuine Motorola cases are also rarer than rocking horse poo. What we also do is quickly take our fiberglass pen and clean the power connections. We will occasionally put a little bit of electrolube on there just to be sure. Quite often what can happen with these, you get a little bit of dirt on there, you get a little bit of dirt on the battery, which is probably quite grim. It's not too bad. And you'll find that as you move, especially if you've got these on a belt clip where the radio moves against the battery, you'll get a radio that starts and stops a lot. Next up, volume. So find where the D is there, find the D there, stop sniggering at the back and push it firmly into place. The channel selector is the same, that goes on a little bit easier as a rule, he says, with one that's not going to go on at all. What can happen if you are having trouble getting these on is you may find you have left that little bit of metal on. So there we go, that's the base put back together. Now we just need to make it look like an original radio again. So we will take our Motorola sticker, actually you will use the kinky tweezers, so to speak. Lay your sticker on there, get it roughly where you think the right place is. I find it's easier to line up on the top of the recess and push it into place. I haven't done a particularly good job on that one. I'm not sure why I've got fewer model number stickers. You can see we've got a little bit of plastic there over the mic. If you leave that there, you'll get muffled audio. Just pull him off, and then same again, line it up and chuck it on. Obviously I could have done a better job with the top one, but these are higher stock, they're going to get mullered. And then in the case of these ones over the back, pull the anti-copyright infringement label off, and we are nearly there. We have nice new caps to go on the side of this. Put your cover on, start it, and then do it finger tight. Do not use a screwdriver on this unless you have to. If you have to, it most likely means something's cross-threaded. On goes an aerial. Yeah, I'm not worried about the state of this battery because there's a new battery for this radio as well. Hopefully we're charged and we're off. So there we go. A little bit fiddly, but it's not actually difficult to do, and perfectly within most people's ability to do it. You won't kill the radio unless you do something really stupid. Anyway, I'm actually going to drink this now and get the next video done for this batch. Take care. Bye.